Hello, Discord members. Welcome. So, today, I don't know if any of you had a chance to log in the morning for the live stream, but I ended up having one nice trade play out. It did squeeze me a little bit. I took it right at 10:26 a.m. And so, I'm just going to do a quick run through of the trade. You can go back and watch the video as well of the live stream if you want to see where I took it live. But I thought, I would make a video for this. I did the poll about the live streams for the group, but I mean, out of the entire group, only 2 people answered. And, I don't think it's really worth it to do a whole live stream just to have 1 or 2 people logged in. So, probably better to just do public live streams, but then give you guys some added value by making extra content like this one just to share with you guys in the Discord group. So obviously the profile has developed a lot more through the rest of the session. You can see we've come up and perfectly closed the gap from the overnight. If I go into the hourly, you can see right here, let me make this black. Right here, this was the gap we were looking to close from the open. Markets came up and we were finding big resistance right at the opening of the gap. I always tell you guys, very, very important to track the opening price in the gaps, because a lot of times, in this case, you can see it gave us resistance for 4 hours until we finally broke out on this 11 o'clock candle. And so going back to the chart, and it's funny because I remember someone on the chat was just telling me that we were just range bound, basically sort of like telling me like, that I had no reason to get in the trade. But that's the thing, is like, you do your own process and don't focus on what other people are saying, because I had a clear point here. You can see we had the low here. We broke below that low. Delta started turning highly positive after we got back above this. And then we had this very strong push up and we got above VWAP. Okay, also here we had a bullish divergence, price making lower lows, cumulative delta, lower highs, cumulative delta making higher highs. So a lot of aggressive pressure. And then the profile at this time was not as developed, but I was focusing on this from the overnight. We had 2 very distinct profiles on the overnight. Big resistance, support, had resistance here, resistance, and we got right back above that level. So this general area I knew was a strong level of support based off of the session volume profiles. So when we broke out here, I put a limit order for a retest of VWAP. Now, I was aware, and it did actually end up happening, that could squeeze me down further into this level, because you can see here we had this consolidation before the breakout. We didn't actually take this high, so I knew this was still an important level of liquidity that we were looking to take out. So when we pulled back, I got in here and it did squeeze me. My invalidation was pretty much right below the thrust candle here. That's where my stop loss was, right below all these wicks here. Then we pulled back more and my indicator fired off the first bullish signal as well, the absorption indicator, which today it actually only fired 2 buys, and both of them were really excellent ones. We had one right here that drove this move, and the second buy was right here that drove this move. So two very nice signals. The sell signals just gave us pretty quick pullbacks. But again, like here, this one didn't play out at all. So it's all about being aware of the environment we're in. Once ES broke above this highs, pretty much we were well on our way to push to the gap fill up here. So your best bet was to not try to be fading, at least until we filled in this gap at this level. But then here you can see I could have ridden this for more, obviously. I could have come up to this highs right here from the open, but I had this clearly defined low volume node resistance, so I just set my take profit right at that level. We didn't end up chopping at that area. So overall, if I use the risk reward tool, got in here, stop was right below this candles here, and my take profit right here. So it was a 2.6 risk reward trade, and it ended up playing well, even though obviously, like I said, it did squeeze me pretty good, but I was counting on this low volume node zone to hold. And so, as soon as we pushed down, but then reclaimed VWAP and started holding it again as support and pushing, then once we got back above this, I've moved my stop loss pretty much right below this wick and the absorption signal, and then up to the target. Okay, so that was the main trade I took in the live stream this morning that I wanted to follow through and tell you guys about. And that's pretty much it. I'll talk to you all again soon in the market analysis for today.